Hello, my friends. So I'm taking it pretty easy right now since there's not much going on in Girl World, but I did want to make this short follow-up to my last video where I talked about how I'm pretty sure Emily has either been reported or there was a threat of being reported, and she was panicking because she's afraid she's going to lose her job. There was just a lot of evidence of that being the case, starting with Tammy sort of not so subtly threatening her job, and then the privacy complaint for Alex's Shook, asking Rachel to take her video down, the subreddit's getting banned. All of that was happening all at once. And then on top of that, the real kicker, I think, was Amber's post saying that to her knowledge, nobody in Emily's care has been harmed. And that sort of sealed the deal for me that that's what's going on. And since then, I saw something that really kind of struck me as interesting, so I thought we should talk about it. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie. At the end of that video, I said that I'm pretty sure the Board of Nursing is going to be looking for like evidence of malpractice or something that they can actually use as evidence against her if they were going to actually take action, and they're not going to really care what dinguses on the internet have to say about her. And I think that's probably true for the most part, but I want to show you this, okay? I am not logged in to Google, so it's not going to take my previous search history into account. I'm going to type in Emily's first and last name and the city that she lives in. I'm not going to show her last name in this. I mean, it's obviously out there, but for privacy concerns, I'm not going to show anything in this other than the name Emily. First of all, if you type in her first and last name only, there's a musician out there that has the same name, and that's what pops up. But if you type her name in and the city she lives in, then it actually pulls her up. Now, again, I've blurred out the last name and the city that she lives in, but the first link is to her LinkedIn, and then right under that is this. Now, if you Google your name, and this is basically the first thing that comes up, you have made some bad decisions in your life, you know? So this is not a good look, obviously. And it really doesn't matter whether it's true or not. I know there's a debate going on in Girl World whether or not Emily's a feeder, and I'm not going to get into that in this video, but it doesn't really matter because this looks bad. The truth is not really the point here. The point is, when you Google her name, this is what pops up. And that is not a good look for her. I don't know anything about the Board of Nursing or how they operate or anything like that, but I got to thinking that there could be some sort of moral clause where, like, if your reputation could harm the field of nursing or could bring negative attention to it, you know, that could be grounds for, I mean, maybe not losing your license, but, you know, there could be some sort of punishment there. It could just violate some of their rules, but I don't know. I don't know if that is part of, you know, getting a license in a medical field or anything like that. It seems plausible, but I do think Emily should be worried because even if the Board of Nursing doesn't look at this and immediately take action, I would imagine that her employer would not like to see this because you know her employer is going to find out that she's under investigation. Of course, if there is an investigation and if she has been reported, this is all just kind of what ifs. But assuming that she has been reported and they start an investigation, her employer will find out and they will probably look into this. And while she may not lose her license, she might very well lose her job because I would imagine that her employer probably doesn't want to have somebody on staff that has this pop up when you search their name. And so I think that's why she is trying to erase herself from Girl World so that when her employer or the nursing board or whatever searches for her, and they likely will, they won't find all this. But like I've said already, that toothpaste is out of that tube and there's no putting it back in. And, you know, I'm not without sympathy. I understand that she probably regrets ever getting involved in Girl World. Of course, I'm also pretty sure that she is still talking to Amber, so I can't be certain that she's actually learned her lesson. As much as she regrets it, it doesn't matter if you don't change your behavior. But the person that I'm really concerned for, that I feel bad for, is her daughter. And I'm not going to talk about her other than just to mention that it just sucks that she has been sucked into all this. And her life could likely be impacted by Emily's terrible decisions and putting herself in this position. So at the end of the day, I would be surprised if she actually needs to worry about losing her license, but I don't know that it really matters, because if her current employer finds this and she loses her job, no matter where she goes to try to get another job, they're going to see this. So it's effectively the same thing. She will have a really hard time finding a job if she ends up losing this one. So again, it sucks that Girl World has actually encroached into her real life. But she knew Amberlynn. She knew the reputation Amber had, and she had been around Girl World already. And she didn't hesitate to jump into the subreddits and talk about Amber and get involved until it started affecting her. And yeah, hindsight's 2020, and I can understand sitting where she's sitting now saying, what have I done? I don't know how I got here, and this sucks, and now I'm screwed. And that sucks, and I feel for her in that situation. But only so much, right? I only have so much sympathy because she did know what she was getting herself into. And she has a daughter. She should have thought of this long before she ever slid into Amberlynn's DMs or anything else. So at this point, I honestly think Emily is more interested in fulfilling her weird fantasies and satisfying herself over her responsibilities, whether it be to her daughter or just to her life in general, you know, taking care of her bills and things like that. She's more interested in making connections and hooking up with the right type of person for her. So I just thought this was interesting and worth mentioning, because at the end of the last video, I did say I doubt that the Board of Nursing would really care what we have to say. But when I saw this, I realized that it was actually not really about the Board of Nursing and losing her license. It's about her just employment in general. And this could absolutely affect that. Anyway, I just thought this was interesting and worth talking about. So if anything else happens, or if there's any kind of updates or whatever, I'll let you know. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.